Who are the best wide receivers in the NFL today? What's going on, bottom line viewers? It's Mitch here, ranking my top 32 NFL wide receivers entering the 2023 NFL season. If that sounds good, don't forget to spike the like button and subscribe to the Bottom Line View for more NFL position rankings. I'm ranking every position this summer, so make sure to subscribe. All of my NFL position rankings this offseason are brought to you by Underdog Fantasy, my favorite place to play fantasy football this summer. Use the promo code BLV and Underdog Fantasy will match your first deposit up to $100. Underdog Fantasy's Best Ball Mania 4 is the largest fantasy football contest of all time. 15 million in total prizes, 3 million to first place. Me personally, I'll probably have about 100 teams by the time summer is over. In this video, you will see the underdog ADP above each player's name. That is the average draft position for where you can draft them on Underdog Fantasy right now. So if you spot a value, don't be afraid, jump on it. Head to Underdog Fantasy, sign up with the promo code BLV, and Underdog will match your first deposit up to $100. That's 4 entries into the biggest fantasy football contest of all time. That's Underdog Fantasy, code BLV, and join me for some drafts this summer. Kicking off my top 32 receivers in the NFL today, at number 32, Calvin Ridley. I know Calvin Ridley didn't play last year and he was suspended, but I felt silly not including Calvin Ridley on this list because I believe with Jacksonville, with Trevor Lawrence throwing him the football, he's about to have a massive return season to the NFL. He's motivated, he's in great shape, and this guy is a phenomenal talent at wide receiver, a very detailed, nuanced route runner, very precise, and takes almost no false steps in his movement as a receiver. Great releasing off the line of scrimmage, and really can run every route in the book to perfection. He's not the most electrifying, but he's an awesome number 1 in this league. At number 31, Christian Watson of the Green Bay Packers. That's right, the freak, my guy Christian Watson has made it onto my top 32 wide receivers entering 2023, and he deserves it, man, as a rookie. The 11th best yards per route run in all of football as a rookie. He showcased his athleticism, his explosiveness, his rare combination of size and speed. And in year 2 as a sophomore, I believe he's going to explode on the scene as Jordan Love's number 1 target and as a true X-alpha wide receiver. This guy has unique feet and hips for a guy that's that fast and that big. Watson is about to take off in 2023. At number 30, another rookie wide receiver, Drake London of the Atlanta Falcons. Now, some people may say that Drake London had a little bit of a disappointing production campaign, but you are a little misplaced if that's what you believe, because the Atlanta Falcons just generally do not throw the football a lot. So what Drake London was able to do, especially near the end of the season, was take over as the target monster of this offense. There's a reason Kyle Pitts was kind of invisible last year, and it's because a lot of his targets ended up going to Drake London. He was a target monster in college. He has become that for the Atlanta offense. Whenever they pass, they're looking to Drake London. A huge frame, a man among boys, even as a rookie, and a rare ability for a guy of that size and thickness to be able to escape tackles. Drake London's the real deal. At At number 29, Christian KIRK of the Jacksonville Jags. That's 2 Jacksonville receivers already on this list. Christian KIRK really had a breakout season, a career year in Jacksonville. His first season, everybody was making fun of the contract and what he was going to do for Jacksonville, and he ended up proving everybody, including myself, wrong. Christian KIRK for Doug Peterson's offense really became the target machine in the slot and the movable chess piece and mismatch weapon that this offense needed for Trevor Lawrence to take the next step. Christian KIRK, really good route runner, really tough in the middle of the field, can break a lot of tackles and make people miss. He's deceptive on his ability to run down the field and make plays vertically, despite his route tree primarily being underneath and intermediate. We even saw him in the backfield doing a lot of different things. So he's a versatile playmaker for this Jacksonville offense that really can't be overstated. At number 28, Jerry Jeudy of the Denver Broncos. Jerry Jeudy finally put together a season where we got to see everything that everyone was talking about when he was drafted by the Broncos in the first round. Jerry Jeudy, without question as a talent, is one of the best route runners in all of football. One of the most nuanced, one of the most creative for sure. Jerry Jeudy has so many different routes in his bag and releases and ability to just make corners look dumb, which is why Jerry Jeudy at his peak, which I do not believe he's hit yet, is going to be somebody that can catch 100, 110, 120 balls, because he just works and operates that short intermediate level in such an expert fashion, especially against man-to-man coverage. I think with Sean Payton, he's going to take the next step into superstardom in 2023. At number 27, Michael Pittman Jr. of the Indianapolis Colts. Despite the terrible quarterback situation, Matt Ryan, Sam Ehlinger, all of these quarterbacks who really couldn't throw the ball down the field, Michael Pittman, as a big receiver, was able to work around that and still have a good productive year, catching 99 passes, 99 receptions for Indianapolis last year. And it just showcased the versatility. We know Michael Pittman's a big guy who can go down the field and win contested catches, but it's a rare skill set to be able to also play in the slot, play in the screen game, be able to create with the football. And while he's not the best yak guy, he just consistently was able to move the chains and make catches over the middle of the field in the short and intermediate range for a bigger receiver. That's what impresses me the most with Michael Pittman. At number 26, Chris Olave of the New Orleans Saints. Chris Olave was a receiver that, I'm going to be honest, out of all of the rookie class last year, I was a little concerned about how his game at Ohio State as a vertical, smooth route runner would actually transfer to the NFL, given the physicality of the corners and the press coverage. But man, I was wrong. I got to admit that Chris Olave is just as smooth and just as effortless at the NFL level. And that's what really stands out. He's not going to create a ton after the catch. He's not a very physical inside receiver. But what he does outside, running routes and separating and using his speed, it's there in the NFL, and he's going to be a good receiver for a long time because of that elite skill. At number 25, DJ Moore of the Chicago Bears. The question with DJ Moore is, why did his production in 2022 fall off the way it did after 3 consecutive 1,100 seasons and 90 catches, 100 catches seemingly every year? DJ Moore was not the same producer of yards and catches the way he has been. And my answer would be Baker Mayfield and DJ Moore had simply zero chemistry. And you even see that when Sam Darnold came into the offense, he was a better player. He produced more. And DJ Moore, funny enough, had the most touchdowns of his career. But this is a guy that's one of the best catch and run receivers in the NFL at his peak. He can run routes at every level, short, intermediate, and deep. He has the juice to get vertical, and he may change the Bears offense and help Justin Fields get to the next level in Chicago. At number 24, Tyler Lockett of the Seattle Seahawks. Tyler Lockett is a classic underrated, underappreciated wide receiver who just continues to put up 1,000 yards after 1,000 yards. I believe 4 consecutive seasons. Russell Wilson and now Geno Smith, multiple quarterbacks, can play in the slot, can play outside, can get vertical, can make contested catches for a little man. Tyler Lockett is extremely impressive. He used to be one of the best punt returners. Now he's one of the most explosive receivers who seemingly makes a big play every game for the Seattle Seahawks and just goes about his business very quiet, not a big personality, but a great downfield vertical route runner who brings so much to the Seattle culture and the Seattle team in 2023. At number 23, Keenan Allen of the LA Chargers. Keenan Allen is the classic wide receiver's favorite wide receiver because he's so savvy, so creative, so crafty in his routes, especially from the slot, that all wide receivers just marvel at his ability to separate due to route running and nuance. But Keenan Allen isn't the most explosive. He's not the most threatening. He's not the guy that when you arrive at the stadium, you're wondering how we're going to stop Keenan Allen. He's just a productive guy year in and year out. Now, he's got to stay healthy at his older age, but he actually had his best yards per game season in a couple of years. He's still a very good player, but he's just not the most explosive player that defenses really fear. He's everyone's favorite creative guy, but not everyone's favorite freaky guy, if that makes sense. At number 22, Chris Godwin of the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Chris Godwin, I would argue, might be the toughest receiver in the NFL. This guy came back from an ACL last season. You clearly could tell he didn't have the same explosion, the same quickness or speed, and it certainly hurt the Bucs and his production. But man, this guy just willed his way to 100 catches, willed his way to consistently putting up numbers week after week after week. And Tom Brady just spammed this guy all year long. And he takes shot after shot, hit after hit. But he escapes, he creates yards after the catch. He's great at protecting himself from defenders on the inside, catching the football in difficult situations. That's why I love Chris Godwin. He is such a tough player. At number 21, Mike Williams, Big Mike of the LA Chargers. Mike Williams makes an impact in a way that I don't think Keenan Allen does. The guy that if Keenan Allen is out or Mike Williams is out is felt more for the Chargers is Mike Williams, because Mike Williams is that red zone target for Justin Herbert, is that third down, fourth down, gotta have it. I'm just gonna throw it to Mike Williams on a comeback or a curl, and he's gonna grab it. Doesn't matter. He's open even when he's covered. That's what Mike Williams is. He's one of the best contested catch guys in all of football. He can get vertical because of his size, and you can just throw it in his vicinity and he'll catch it. Mike Williams is a very good football player, and he's a perfect target for Justin Herbert because Herbert can just feed him, and it's right there for Mike Williams to grab and snatch out of the air like no one else in football. At number 20, Mike Evans of the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. And I understand a lot of people are going to be upset because Mike Evans has set the record for consecutive 1,000-yard seasons. He is awesome. He is a Hall of Famer. But Mike Evans isn't the same guy as when Tom Brady arrived a couple years ago. Yeah, his yards went up per game. But if you watched him this year, he had like 3 or 4 big games. Then the rest of the time, he was kind of okay, average. You know, their connection was kind of hit and miss, not the highest percentage in the league. It feels like a lot of low percentage balls from Tom Brady to Mike Evans. And part of it was because the offensive line couldn't block, so Brady had to get rid of the ball a lot. So Mike Evans' route tree was hurt from that standpoint. But my problem with Evans is he's just not a short intermediate guy. He's mostly deep and he's mostly contested, and he doesn't separate the way elite guys do at this point in his career, but he's still really, really good and productive. At number 19, DeAndre Hopkins. DeAndre Hopkins isn't the same all-pro player. He's not as quick or as explosive as he once was, and he's never been a burner. but he did have twitch and yards after catch ability that I think goes underappreciated, and even route running ability to separate that goes underappreciated. Now he's more of a contested guy using his big mitts, his body control, and his craftiness to get open and make catches. He's always open even if he's covered. That's D-Hop in a nutshell. But he's still super productive. I mean, almost 80 yards per game last year with Colt McCoy, Kyler Murray, a terrible Cardinals offense. I think David Blau played for them. I don't even know. He's still D-Hop at the end of the day, and his actual skill set will make his longevity very viable because he's a big guy that doesn't need a lot of speed to actually make plays and make catches and be productive. At number 18, arguably the most underrated talent at the wide receiver position in the NFL today is Brandon AIYUK. Brandon AIYUK is a wide receiver skill set that I just adore. He's great after the catch. He's very hard to tackle. He's got good speed, good quickness, amazing short area change of direction skills for a guy of his height and size. And he also is the best pure outside receiver on San Francisco, where he can go down the field and catch contested passes. He's great on in breakers. He's great breaking tackles and going for big plays. He is a complete player. The only reason people don't really talk about him at a higher level is because they have so many mouths to feed over there. DEEBO Samuel, George Kittle, Christian McCaffrey, that it's hard to get this guy to 100 catches and big time numbers, but he's really that good. At number 17, Amari Cooper of the Cleveland Browns. I felt like Amari Cooper had a bit of a bounce back season in Cleveland last year, and it went very under the radar, and I think that's how Amari likes it. Amari is just so smooth, so crafty, and so nuanced with how he changes direction, how he can stop on a dime and turn his routes and be able to be quarterback friendly. He's such a good vertical route runner. His ability to run out breaking routes especially is what really, I think, shows me how good he is. He's really good at the line of scrimmage, at creating instant separation with his quickness, and he has the speed for corners to really be afraid of him getting vertical. He was great on crossers last year. The only thing he's not great at really is yards after catch, but I really like what Amari Cooper was able to bring to Cleveland last year. At number 16, Garrett Wilson, the Offensive Rookie of the Year in 2022 for the New York Jets. Garrett Wilson is already a very good receiver in this league, and he came into the NFL prepared and ready to go right out of the box, and he showcased that. He had the second most missed tackles forced in football, only behind DEEBO Samuel. So he's great at forcing missed tackles in short areas. He's really good at the line of scrimmage, at creating separation on slants, on fades, on quick little jitter routes, and then he's also really good and tough over the middle of the field, and actually has deceptive ability to get down the field because he's so good at the line of scrimmage that his instant separation creates big plays. Garrett Wilson's going to be really good for a long time. I'm excited to see what he can do with Aaron Rodgers. At number 15, Amon-Ra St. Brown of the Detroit Lions. Talk about an automatic completion. That's exactly what St. Brown has become for Jared Goff and the Detroit offense. He's so crafty, so intelligent at finding the holes in the zone, separating underneath versus slot corners, and changing direction. He reminds me a lot of Wes Welker, and coming from me, that is very high praise. St. Brown really impressed me with his ability to become an even better route runner this year, an even better player after catch than before as a rookie. St. Brown is one of the best chain movers in the NFL today. I'm excited to see how he can continue to evolve, but this is one of the best short area, intermediate, get drive started receivers that there is in football today. At number 14, DeVonta Smith of the Philadelphia Eagles. DeVonta Smith is simply one of the most electric downfield playmakers in all of football. He fits what the Eagles want to do to a T. He is not great after the catch. He is not really an underneath player. But man, intermediate route running, deep route running, he is always open. The guy finds a way to get open when the Eagles need a big play, and he can align from the slot and attack you vertically. He can align out wide and beat press coverage. He's got such a unique frame and build with his long arms, good speed, great feet. DeVonta Smith is the real deal, and I feel he's just getting started now. At number 13, Terry McLaurin of the Washington Commanders. Terry McLaurin is a lot like DeVonta Smith, except he also has that extra ability to create when he gets the ball in his hands after the catch. There's a reason that many have nicknamed him Scary Terry, because the guy, when he gets the ball, is scary in the open field. He's got real speed that threatens corners to back off vertically. He can create separation at the top of his routes to come back to the football at the intermediate level. He's really just refined his game to work everything off of that speed. And then after the catch, he's tough, man. He's just relentless. He's consistent. No matter the quarterback, he produces. And I think with Sam Howell, he might actually have his best season yet in 2023. At number 12, DEEBO Samuel of the San Francisco 49ers. DEEBO Samuel did have an underwhelming year this year from a production standpoint. He did not put up the numbers, not nearly the same as 2022. But for those of you that are gonna rank him even lower than this, just allow me to remind you that this is the best after the catch receiver that there is in football. The most missed tackles in the NFL by 14, 36 to 22. He's a machine in the open field. He's a beast. He's an animal. He's a monster. You cannot tackle this human being. He is a spark to the 49ers in a way that not many receivers are. He's a big play no matter where on the field, not due to his speed down the field, but because of what he can do with the ball. He is just such a unique playmaker in this league. At number 11, T. Higgins of the Cincinnati Bengals. T. Higgins is one of the best jump ball, go up and get it, he's down there somewhere type of players. And that was not more evident to me than when I saw T. Higgins moss my Patriots play after play. Joe Burrow just said, oh, you got short corner versus big wide receiver. I'm just going to throw it to him. Doesn't matter if it's a back shoulder. Doesn't matter if it's a fade ball, if it's a go ball. T. Higgins will track the ball as good as anybody in football. He'll find it, he'll grab it, and it'll be a big play. And with Joe Burrow's accuracy and touch, that is just a deadly combination. T. Higgins is such a good player at just boxing out defenders, and he's not the best route runner, but his ability to just gain that slight separation and his chemistry with Burrow is next level, and he's just a big play waiting to happen because he's never actually covered. Entering the top 10, at number 10, Jaylen Waddle of the Miami Dolphins. Jaylen Waddle is simply magnificent and different, man. Jaylen Waddle had the most yards per reception in the NFL, despite really not being a downfield target, which is crazy. I mean, this guy is so good at creating yards after the catch. His combination of size and a strong lower body to make defenders just whiff on tackles, and then his electric speed and quickness is rare. It's not like he can't get down the field, but he's primarily focused on RPOs and short little concepts, and he's great at breaking off routes and changing direction, and he's just an animal. Like, the guy is so hard to defend because not a lot of people have the size, the quickness, the speed to match up with Jaylen Waddle. At number 9, DK Metcalf of the Seattle Seahawks. DK Metcalf is one of my personal favorite receivers in the NFL because there's just not many specimens on planet Earth that look and play like DK Metcalf. He is huge and he is so fast. He is scary. Like, the guy is scary. And I don't know how you defend him because he's become one of the best contested catchers in football. I believe he was #1 in most contested catches last year. And then you also combine that with vertical speed that's up there with Tyreek Hill, and you have size where he can make in-breaking routes and inside catches because he's just so big. You can't get around him. He can box you out and make those catches. He's a complete X receiver if there ever was one in the NFL. At number 8, CeeDee Lamb of the Dallas Cowboys. CeeDee Lamb took it up another level this year. I've always been a fan of CeeDee Lamb because he's really crafty in his routes. He can gain separation at every level of the field. He's not the greatest vertical guy in the league, but his ability to run routes underneath, run routes, especially at the intermediate level, I feel like he's elite in that aspect. And then his yards after catch, he's an extremely dangerous player when he gets the ball in his hands. And he had that bravado, that little bit of cockiness and confidence that you love to see from an 88 on the Dallas Cowboys. CeeDee Lamb was just a target machine, an automatic first down, the go-to guy for Dak Prescott that we always thought he could be in 2023. And I think this is the start of his peak of his career. At number 7, Cooper Kupp of the LA Rams, my #1 receiver from 2022, without question the most productive player from 2022. He of course got injured because they ran him into the damn ground last year and this year, but man, he was on pace to have a similar season this year. He had 90 yards per game. He was putting up catch after catch, game after game, and Matthew Stafford just continued to spam the guy because he's uncoverable. His combination of balance, quickness, change of direction, and size is extremely rare. I don't think that Cooper Kupp gets enough credit for his physical traits. There's not a lot of players that are 6'2", 6'3", that also are just as smooth as him underneath, that can change directions like him and break tackles like him. Cooper Kupp is an excellent football player that deserves a lot more respect than he is given. At number 6, Stefon Diggs of the Buffalo Bills. Stefon Diggs might be the best route runner in the NFL. He's at least in that conversation, but that's the first thing that comes to mind because he can set up a defender and beat a defender underneath, intermediate, and deep, and he is extremely good down the field. He's great at double moves. He's great at little head fakes and shakes and the little things that make corners just absolutely come out of their jock strap, and all of a sudden Stefon Diggs is separated 10, 20 yards down the field and he's wide open. And it's like, how did he get wide open? He's also really good at breaking his routes and creating separation to gain first downs. I think he's one of the best just pure route runners with quickness and twitch in football. Diggs is an awesome football player in this league. Entering the top 5, at number 5 is A.J. Brown of the Philadelphia Eagles. Talk about an absolute beast. A.J. Brown took his game to the next level with Jalen Hurts in Philadelphia, becoming a downfield monster. And we already know he's one of the toughest to take down in the open field. He is a chain mover as well. A.J. Brown just has pretty much everything that you want. Size, speed, contested catch ability, just fearlessness, toughness, competitiveness. A.J. Brown, if there is one player or one thing that took the Eagles from good to great, it was his presence as that alpha target that every defense is afraid of at pretty much every level of the defense. He's that darn good. At number 4, Ja'Marr Chase of the Cincinnati Bengals. The only reason Ja'Marr Chase isn't higher than this, which I expect him to be the best receiver in the NFL at some point in his career, is because he got hurt. A lot of people forget he got hurt, but he was playing awesome last year, up there with the best of them. And Ja'Marr Chase, I think the #1 trait that not a lot of people talk about with him, because he's great down the field. He's one of the most scary vertical receivers in the game because he has speed, size, and contested catchability that's unique. but he's so good at breaking tackles. I almost never see anyone tackle him instantly. I almost never see the first defender tackle Ja'Marr Chase. He is a glitch. He is a cheat code on screen passes, on quick little flares. He's so good underneath and vertical that he's just so dangerous all the time. At number 3, Davante Adams of the Las Vegas Raiders. Well, he answered the question. Is it Aaron Rodgers or is it Davante Adams? I think we clearly got that idea when we saw Davante Adams go out there with Derek Carr and put up stupid numbers week after week. There was some weeks where it was like the guy couldn't be covered. Like, it was insane. In the slot out wide, he getting 20 targets a game. And then in Green Bay, we saw Aaron Rodgers kind of suffer without him, without that just go-to target. And Davante Adams is so crafty. He's the best route runner in the game, best releases in the game, so good at creating instant separation. He's not the fastest guy, but his quickness and his craftiness is a rare combination. He's so intelligent. He sets up corners and defenders so well, and he has great hands, great concentration. He's so darn good. The second best receiver in all of football entering 2023 is Tyreek Hill of the Miami Dolphins. Simply the biggest game changer in football at any position is Tyreek Hill. And it doesn't matter if he's on the Chiefs with Mahomes or if he's on the Miami Dolphins with Tua. He changes the offense. He changes the identity. He changes how a defense has to play your offense, and he takes your offense, in the case of Miami's, to the next level. Just completely evaporates everything we thought of Tua. Changes the notion, and arguably was the best receiver in football last year from a production standpoint. I give another guy a slight edge because he's a bit younger, but man, those two are going head-to-head all season long. We know how much of a game changer he is deep down the field because of his speed, how quick he is underneath to make people miss, and he's easily the most respected in football today. The best receiver in the NFL entering 2023 is none other than Justin Jefferson of the Minnesota Vikings. Justin Jefferson in 2022 was simply unstoppable. He could not be stopped by any defense, by any cornerback, in any game. It didn't matter where he was aligned, what route he was running. The guy is just always open. It's insane. Zone, man coverage. And that's what separates Justin Jefferson for me. He's so intelligent. He's not the biggest. He's not the fastest. He's not the quickest, although he is quick, he is fast, he can make contested catches. He's all of that, and he can play at any position and run any route and separate at any level. He's so smart. He's great at separating versus man, but also so smart at finding soft spots in zone. He's going to be the most productive receiver in the NFL for a long time. Those are the best receivers in the NFL entering 2023. I hope you enjoyed my top 32 receivers in the NFL today. If you did, Gronk spike the like button. Don't forget to subscribe for more NFL rankings at every position this summer. Thank you guys so much for watching. It's Mitch. Peace. See you in the next one.